Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a horror movie that I recently watched. Well, re-watched. I've seen this one numerous times. And that obviously is Christine, based on the novel of the same name by Stephen King, which I have read. And you may be thinking to yourself, well David, what's the difference between the movie and the book in this case? Well, the book follows the movie, but the book has different aspects in it. Is different than the movie, because I feel that some Stephen King adaptations are either completely different than the book, or the movie or TV series or whatever follows the book pretty much page for page. But this one kind of cuts out everything that I know the director didn't probably like. But the book is slightly different than the movie. Is it better than the movie? Well, I like both of them, so I can't really tell. But the movie was released in 1983. The director is obviously John Carpenter, who is more well known for The Thing. And the writers are both Stephen King and Bill Phillips. So this is about a awkward teenage boy called Arnie, who is pretty much a nerd. He's picked on. He doesn't have many friends apart from Dennis, his best and only friend. And he's always picked on by the bullies at his school, led by a individual called Buddy. And Dennis is trying to help Arnie out by elevating his status in high school. And then one day, Arnie comes across a car which he becomes infatuated by, he becomes obsessed by, and he automatically goes out and buys it. It is a wreck of a car, and he takes it to a garage or a shed where he gets it repaired, and well, he does it himself, and he brings it back to its former glory. But this car kind of changes on his perspective of things. His personality changes overnight. He's more vicious and cruel and unpredictable, and he looks down on people. And his connection between the car, which is named Christine, and himself is unbreakable. He has a fierce bond with this car. Yes, there is a love relationship between it. It's not really romantic, but yeah, he's obsessed with this car, and this car is obsessed with him. And after it's been destroyed by Buddy and these other bullies, Arnie discovers that the car has the ability to, is sentient. It has the ability to mend itself and to repair itself and even control itself. So it goes out of its way to avenge what these bullies have done to Christine and done to this car. And Christine goes out and kills all these people in, I won't say graphic and gory ways. It is gory about what the car does to these people, but it's not all blood, guts and gore in the movie. We find out that Arnie has a girlfriend as the story progresses, called Lee. I think that Lee's kind of attracted to the bad boy image of what Arnie has now become, because Lee in this movie is looked up by all the other guys in high school as being the most attractive and popular and the most desirable girl on the whole campus. But even Lee can see about the obsession that Arnie has with his car, and she confronts Dennis about this, and they both can see that the downward spiral of Arnie's infatuation with Christine, and his family life has been deteriorating. Then at the end of the movie, it's just about Dennis and Lee trying to get rid of Christine and trying to save their friend Arnie. But, I don't know, the movie kind of portrayed it as being like Dennis taking Lee away from Arnie and being romantically involved with her and somehow betraying his friends. And also, as someone that likes the design of the car, Christine, from a aesthetic point of view, it's really upsetting when they actually destroy and crush the car. And I mean, in horror movies, it's either ghosts or demons or a real life serial killer, but it's very, very rare that it's a actual inanimate object, something that shouldn't be alive but somehow is within the context of the movie. But this film is a great example about obsession and addiction and being so fixated on one thing that you kind of push everything out and push everything else that's in your life to the side and just ignore it and just focus on this one thing. Yes, it may give you pleasure. Yes, it may make you happy. But to be only fixated on one aspect or one thing isn't at all healthy, especially if you're pushing everyone out of your life. So the movie for me is a classic. I can always watch it. The acting in it is so good. I think the highlight is obviously Arnie, our leading man, which it should be the case. He's played by Keith Gordon. Arnie's performance, especially when he gets Christine, is so intense. His eyes are so intense and intimidating, and his delivery about life and people, and how he explains about how he feels about them, is so scary and so creepy, and he really goes for it. And yeah, and plus his obsession with this car, because he had to really convey that on the screen, because this is a car and he has to try to convince everyone that's watching the movie that he has this obsession with this car, this unbreakable bonds with this car. And he did that so well. I don't think that anyone could have done a better job than he did in this movie. Dennis is a good friend. He is a good friend in this film. He is a good character. Played by John Stockwell. He does his best to, save his friends, and he is a concerned person towards Arnie. Lee could have been played by this, it's like, oh, I'm so pretty, everyone's falling in love with me, that type of ditzy girl. But she was portrayed as being a very intelligent and smart person, and a smart individual that like to study all this stuff. Yes, her acting was kind of a bit cringy in some parts, and I didn't really. I mean, the relationship between her and Arnie was kind of sweet, but for the most part, I didn't really buy it. But she was portrayed by an actress called Alexandra Paul. She was fine during the movie, and because this movie is really heavily focused on music, more specifically rock music, old school rock music, as Christine is kind of always playing all this rock music on the radio, to convey emotions basically, and to convey how she feels. Like when someone's like trying to get into the car, she plays all this music to convey what she wants to say physically. And when Arnie's in the car, she plays all these love rock songs. There is no confrontation about what the demons within, or the essence of, or whatever that's in Christine manifests itself. So we never really physically see what the demons, if any demons in the car, physically looks like. But when the car is just facing you within the scene, when it's just parked and when the camera just facing the front of the car and you're looking at it, you can just, you are really creeped out by it because you know that the car is somehow looking at you. So that's just my 2 cents on the movie Christine by John Carpenter. Have you seen this movie? Have you read the book? If you haven't watched the movie, are you planning to? Or if you've watched the movie, are you planning to read the book? And yeah, that's just been my video about it, guys. So with all that out the way, I'll see you on my next video.